Hello, this is Olga Jevtich. I'm Miss Virginia Senior America 2003, and this is Fashion Notes. As you know me all these years, I, love to have jewelry designers, and as we have one today. And as you know, I think the more is less for me, because the girl does not have enough jewelry in her life, because everything is different, everything is for different occasion. And now, you just pay attention. We have a wonderful guest. I found her at the gallery in Occoquan, a la carte it's called. They have a wonderful designers there with the different, crafts. And when I saw her work, I'll introduce her in a minute, I said, wow, she will be a perfect guest. So I called her and explained what we are doing. So she was excited to be here. I would like to welcome Katie Costello, beautiful lady with a wonderful jewelry. I would like to welcome you. Thank you very much for coming today and showing us your beautiful work. You must have some, beautiful eyes of the vision to do all these very fine beads that you are using. And we'll show you, I hope the camera can, pick some of her, very, very fine work that she's doing. And I always ask my guests, how did they start doing, what they're doing? Because every story is a little different than, And how did you start? How many years you are in business? Did you just start doing for yourself? And then, just doing it more and more and turn out to be a business?
I started when I was 5, but I wasn't making jewelry. I was sewing. A lot of my jewelry is done with needle and thread. So my grandmother taught me to sew very, very young, and I continued, and it evolved. I did a lot of needle crafts, a lot of sewing, a lot of children in between. But as I got going, I just loved the jewelry and the beads, and I moved into jewelry.
I see. So this is all one of a kind, I imagine?
Everything's one of a kind.
One of a kind.
Do
So
things.
if you have one of her jewelry, of course, nobody in the world will have that makes it extra special. And, she's wearing something very exquisite, which goes very well with her, like, bohemian blouse, that's what they call it, that she's wearing. Tell us what you are wearing. This is interesting. It looks like a vintage, but it's not. Is this, or it is?
The centerpiece is art clay silver. I made a mold, and then I made the art clay silver, and then it became a cabochon. And it sat on my desk for about 5 years before I figured out what I wanted it to do. Then I just started to embroider, and it sat again for another couple years.
Is this how you do? You just start working perhaps on some piece, and then you don't know how to finish it, and you just leave it alone, you start something else, and then, say, oh, now I know what I'm going to continue to work,
Yes.
Is this how you do it?
Yes, I do.
So you don't finish one piece completely from beginning to the end?
Unless I'm on a deadline or doing a challenge, I don't.
Oh, so you put yourself on the challenge and not nobody else?
Well, I do some challenges where I'm given a bag of beads, and I have 6 weeks to create something.
I see.
And those are when I have deadlines.
So do you dream about it,
Yes.
sometimes? And then did you get up and, take a note, in your dream to,
Yes.
not to forget in the morning when you wake up?
Sometimes my dream doesn't look anything like the piece ends up. I like to let the piece evolve in its own way. So sometimes they come out totally different than I expected.
So, but this is the beauty of it,
Yes.
This is not that you find in your neighborhood store, that's for sure. So this is the beauty of it. So it's one of a kind, and this is a work of the artist, and you have your own inspiration from probably something else to create something very unique and beautiful. And what is interesting about her work, that she, point to one of the pieces, that she's working with some very, very small beads and put them together. For this bracelet, for example, shows this is I don't know if camera can pick it up, there's this very, very small pieces. You must have some, excellent light, and some special glasses to do it.
Yes,
Because, they're so small, and it's such a strain on your eyes, I'm sure, doing
Yes.
it. And you have to have really something very bright,
I use
to put it
lights.
together.
Lights are the best. It's a natural light, so it doesn't color the beads in a different way also, because if you use a light bulb that has either white or yellow to it, the colors won't match when you go out in the sunlight. But an light is natural light, and so your colors will always be spot
So your
on.
best work is in the morning, and then is the natural light, or you have a special lamp? Which
I have
is
a special
lamp that
yes.
gives you like
Yes.
a, natural light, which
Yes.
is not
Yes.
really. I see. Well, I know there is such a thing existing. And what colors do you usually put together? Do you put together something that matches, or if you, for example, make mistake, but nobody else will know this mistake because it's it's a unique piece, do you go and correct it, or you just let it go? Nobody will notice, thinking that nobody will
Nature puts
notice.
all colors together. What this piece is this is all of the pieces that I've been working on in the last month, and I'm too lazy to clean up my desk. So I weave them all together, and this is what it looks like.
So you can see the back of the piece is actually as beautiful as the the right side, right side. So you almost cannot make the difference between both sides, which is really
But when I
exquisite.
add the finishing and I like flowers, I love flower gardens. I just add them and let the colors tell me what it is. This is truly a one of a kind because I have no idea what I had on the desk. So that's how this one evolves.
Yes, they're beautiful. And you usually make flowers.
Yes, I love
this is your
nature.
signature to have a flowers.
Yes.
I see. And also the necklaces she does. And do you do also custom work, or it is difficult to have a custom work because you do one of a kind and nobody can tell you what to do,
Right.
only you.
Right.
So you like it, or too bad if you don't like
If
it.
you would like, I just finished a piece for the Rochester Policeman's Ball that she wanted to wear, and she just said, make me a piece. And so I could do what I wanted. And she took the piece and loved it.
Was it necklaces?
Yes,
or
it was.
necklaces?
It was a beautiful heart necklace, and I put a bullet in it. And she just loved it. She thought that was the greatest
Do
thing
you
she'd ever
sign
seen.
your pieces?
No, I don't. I haven't really figured out how to do that yet. It's always a work in progress.
I know, but how long did you are working on the jewelry? I know you've been working on dresses and knitting and crocheting, all kind of things that you can incorporate together. But the jewelry is the last thing you
That I've
start
started.
working to.
Yes, and that was about in 2000 that I started doing that.
Are you somewhere else beside the a la carte gallery? It's a very cute gallery in Occoquan. And they have a different artists there. They're really some stained glass and glass artists. We are going to have glass artists also. So they're very interesting. It's a cute little gallery with the interesting things. So if you're around, you should go and visit. It's really worth your time. And also Occoquan is like an artsy little town, and it's nice to spend weekend there strolling around and visiting all these beautiful shops. And tell us about the necklaces that you have there on the display. The large one, this is like a statement piece that if you put it on, it will on some very very plain dress, it will look absolutely fantastic. And it goes, just about with any skin tone, but the colors are so beautifully done. And how long did it take you, for example, to finish that piece?
This
It must be a long.
was about 6 months. This piece took me a very long time. I started out with the face.
Did you know, the final picture, what is or not?
It changed so many times. Even right up to the last. This piece was designed to go into the Woodlawn Needle Competition, which it went in this year. And so I had a deadline, and I had an idea of what I wanted it to look like, but it evolved.
But you didn't put on the paper. on the paper,
Nope, I didn't.
no sketching anything,
Nope.
or just, your hands just, lead you to recreate the stuff. Wow, that's very interesting. Wow, and this is a, interesting combination of colors. And do you have a flowers there too? Because this is your signature. Yes,
Well,
you
it's
have
all,
a flower.
this is the name of the piece is Maybam. She is the celestial goddess of fall. So that's why you see all the fall colors. There's a pine cone here. This is the end of a shotgun shell. Then you have all different, like old grapes and different fall items. That's why the colors are so rich, because this is fall.
And what kind of metal? How do you put them together? It must be some kind of
Needle and thread.
thread. What kind of? It must be some very strong thread that you use.
I use 6 to 8 pound test, which is fishing line.
Ah,
So that way,
it's good enough to catch the huge fish. Of course, it's good enough to hold the necklaces together.
and if it gets wet, it won't fall apart. Like with some of the threads will fall apart if they get wet. With the fishing line, it's not going to do that.
And how do you finish it? Do you have like a clasp, or do you?
On the back, I've finished it all with leather and suede.
Leather.
So these are all
So
done.
it's soft, really.
Yes.
It's soft.
It's very
soft.
malleable, very pliable.
Pliable.
And then I used a vintage button.
Oh, buttons. Vintage buttons. Very, very crafty. As you can see, this is a piece. Even it looks like something like a small purse. If you, isn't it? You can, if you have a baking, maybe But it's really a very, very exquisite piece, and the colors are absolutely fantastic. And of course, one of a kind, as you say.
Yes.
And you have other pieces.
Yes.
We would like to tell us. This is one similar, like you are wearing one. On
This one, yes.
this one, like you are wearing.
Yes. This is a piece of pawa shell that I found in New Zealand. My daughter lived there for 5 years, and I got to visit. So I brought this piece of shell home, and I just
You put something on you put the beads. It's very difficult to see, but there's a beads there on the shell.
Yes, across
and did you
it.
glue them, or how did you put them?
It is glued to a backing, and then and then there's a backing, another backing. So it's glued first, and then I liked the drape of the beads. I had them on my needle, and I just liked how it looked. So I continued that through it. And you can also see here is another bullet that I've been working with. Artists have spent time making these the ends of the bullets, and I think that
they're all beads. I can see, but you have an impression they're like a stones inside, because they're such a fine work.
Thank you.
And it's very, very interesting. And also you can wear this, with the not, because this shows better, with the black, and you can wear, any kind of gold or silver chain, which is probably, depend what you are wearing. But, it shows better like that, you can see better, with the black one. And you have some more simple things here on your, what is that? I was just looking earlier, I couldn't figure out. Those are not earrings.
No, these are different stones that I've polished, and then I've wire wrapped with, this is 22 gauge square wire.
So what is this for?
It is a part of a necklace.
Oh, part of the necklace.
It has a bail.
I saw before, and I didn't see any, anything that you can use as a earring, and I was wondering. So it's a clever idea. And these stones come in irregular shapes.
Yes, yes.
And how did you polish them? What do you use to polish them?
Well, it's a very large machine. When I lived in Las Vegas, I belonged to the lapidary club there, and we did a lot of cabbing and cut the cabs. Then we shaped them, polished them. Some of these are what I've got left over.
They come like that, but you have just to polish them, or
Yes.
they don't. They come in different shapes, and you shave them to.
I picked them up off the ground, and then I cut them and shaped them. And
do you have to have a special tools for it?
yes, it's the lapidary club had an entire warehouse full, and we could go and use it anytime.
Oh, that's interesting. How did and it's very, very,
It's something you don't think of as Las Vegas as the lapidary club.
Yeah. So do they have a here chapter or not?
They have a chapter in Baltimore. It's just a little bit of a ride for me to get to, and I did so much work in Las Vegas, I have boxes.
So did you have to go to the course to, how did you know how to, polish and how to cut? Because, this is something, a craft that you have to learn from somewhere,
Yes,
I don't think
they were very willing to teach. And we had we had a lovely time, spent hours there working, and then you would clean everything up, and then you would reciprocate with the next time there was a class, you might come and clean up after it and things like that. It was a very low cost, but a wonderful group of people. I just adored going there. They would take bus trips and go to quarries and pick up different stones and then bring them back, and we'd cut them and cab them and polish them.
Oh, I saw on television, sometimes that people go and looking for kind of, they get little turquoise there.
Yes.
And, which is, very interesting. And also there's some water there, they're cleaning and, looking, and I didn't think, that you can find anything. such a huge places there.
We went one spot and we found black onyx.
Black onyx?
Just laying on the ground.
How big the piece was?
Well, they're pieces like this, and they bring them back and they would cut them and take the best of them. And there was a lot of waste, but still I thought it was really interesting to
I'm
go
sure
and
the
pick
small,
this up.
even the small dust, probably, we can use it to glue on something.
Yes, the
but I'm
drusies,
sure nothing
yes.
is wasted.
Nothing's
And,
wasted.
so you have some other stuff, Tina. Can you show us what you have there?
Absolutely. This one was another challenge piece. I was given a bag of beads, all different colors and sizes, and I used humikimo, which that's the Japanese braiding, and I loaded them on and I braided this on, and then I had these left to use.
Almost like a cherry blossoms,
Very, so you have to use all the pieces and incorporate them. The hardest piece to use were these little triangle cones because they're not on center. So they didn't want to stand up, but I got them to lay down. So this was a piece that I put in for a challenge.
Do these beads come like that, this like that, and then how do you, you order them online or how?
Yes, online, and there's a lot of great bead stores in our area, in the Fairfax
And when they have a
area.
jewelry show, they have a wholesale section that you can buy,
Yes.
and put together stuff.
Yes, yes.
I see. Well, it's interesting. There are so many, places that if you are interested to, do something for fun or, to do business. And also, I'm sure there's some courses that you can take to, to show you, how, it's all this put together because, if you would like anything is possible, to learn how to do it, And you have another one piece there, which is absolutely very, very interesting. Also with lots of beads, and I see some face too. What does it mean?
This is called Schmiegel. I designed this piece for the 50th anniversary of Nellie's Needlers. I just lost it. Nellie's Needlers. Their show that they do every year, and it happened to be 2 years ago. This piece is called Schmiegel. This is his face, and this is the Hobbit before he found the One Ring, which turned him into Gollum. This piece won second prize in the competition, which I was very pleased with, and this piece took almost 6 months.
And this is, of course, unique, unique one of a kind piece, which is. Yeah, I like the combination of colors there, like a pink and green. This is very upcoming. And do you distinguish something between like a spring and summer and fall and winter, or this is just, you can wear it every time?
I can look at a piece and tell you what season I made it in. I know that I did
this is definitely spring.
Spring, and I definitely did that one in the fall. So, because it's because I like the environment to
I
to
see.
inspire me. So I let it.
How do you store your jewelry? Just tell us, just for us, they have jewelry. I always ask my, guests, how do they store it? I know you probably, for the shows, you have to have special, boxes. I don't know how you pack them. But like, us who don't have as much, but, we still have some, how do you store it? Is it plastic bags, okay? Or do you have some soft cloth, or how do you take care of it?
Well, the glass, I do like to keep it in a plastic bag because
And the plastic bags are okay.
for the glass, I keep them in that. But when you're in the silver, you need to be in a felt-lined box, or you need to watch your humidity as well. You don't
I know
want
pearls are very, very sensitive.
Yes.
For example, you shouldn't cook with the pearls because the steam from cooking it can damage the pearls, which is
yes.
not good. And are the rest, for example, in gold okay, or silver, or is it silver going to tarnish?
Yes, yes. Again, you have to watch the humidity on your pieces. If you're, keeping them, let's say, in the garage, not such a good idea. Keeping them in the bathroom, again, not such a good idea.
Not good idea.
But if you're keeping them in your bedroom where you can control that humidity, keep it down. Check on your jewelry too. It's in that lovely box. You need to go through it and make sure, you're not tarnishing.
And also, is it good or not good if they touch each other? Is it or not?
I don't know about that particular aspect of it, but you should go through your jewelry and make sure, what needs to be repaired, what am I not wearing.
If they tangle,
Yes,
like that,
all
and
that
some
kind of
stones start falling down.
Yes,
So
yes.
they should be,
You
careful.
should be, checking it out, making sure. Because, if that piece is no good, then that means you get to buy another one.
But the plastic bags are still okay, do you
I
think
think they're
so?
okay,
Yes.
yes.
I have some, for example, some usually earrings that some of them are, just mixed together, and you can never find another one, So it's good to have a small plastic bags and put them properly,
Yes.
separately, because if you have in one drawer, which that I have all them like mixed together, and then many times I found one, and then where is the other one? I usually don't have time to look for the other one, and I just grab something else.
Yes.
But that's how I think you should do. But maybe as a professional, you have better idea than I do.
Well, I keep all of mine in pairs, and of course they're on little cards because that's what how I'm going to sell them. But my own personal jewelry, I have a couple little jewelry boxes, not big ones, small ones, and I keep them orderly in the boxes so that I can find them, because that would.
But they're not see-through boxes. So, how can you, you write on the box, this is black or gold?
No,
or what
I just have 2 or 3 little boxes, little jewelry boxes.
You don't have to
go
go through 10, boxes to find something that you really need that day.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, anyway, this is really interesting to have you and to show our audience that we have a wonderful artist in our area. And they're doing absolutely beautiful, beautiful things. And you have to patronize the gallery, craft shows, Torpedo Factory. As I said before, a la carte little gallery in Occoquan is a great place to go. And also they have it 2 times a year shows, outdoor shows.
Yes.
So you can, this is a fun thing to do, and the buses can transfer you from the parking, which is not, big deal. And I think I would like to thank you very much for coming and showing us all these lovely, lovely things. And, and next time we are going to have another exciting artist from our area. This is Olga Jevtich reporting for Fashion Notes. And thank you very much for tuning in today. And we are also on the YouTube. You can see us if you type Olga Jevtich Fashion Notes. You can see some of our programs there. And thank you again. And thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And
It was
showing
lovely.
us your lovely, lovely jewelry. Does this look good on me?
It certainly does.
And it does really, it was really fun to talk to you and to tell us all your experience with jewelry, and also that you did all clothing and other things. Bye-bye.